I'm going to talk through this concept of a no-joke childcare center. What does that mean, and what are the 4 fundamental areas that are going to really be the make or break it? So in working with hundreds and hundreds of centers, I always have looked for the challenges. I've always looked for the problems. Now, a couple years ago, the main number one problem that centers would have is, Michael, we need more enrollments. We need the phone to ring more. We need to convert more. So it was an enrollment number. And that then kind of shifted to more recently being a hiring issue. Michael, we have a decent amount of it, but we need more staff and we need happier staff. And in looking back 10 plus years, I've noticed a lot of other random things. But in the end, they really have boiled into 4 buckets. 4 areas that I see all of the challenges and then mirrored with the possibilities. So I'll just use one, simple math. Let's say you've got 80 enrollments, you've got capacity for 120, and your sweet spot, your best spot of profitability is, let's say, 100. So you're over here and you've got 80. The other side, the possibility side, is 100. So you're here, you want to get over to here. You've got to take that bridge and you've got to start to cross different paths. You've got to open up a couple of different doors. You've got to take certain actions, certain steps to start to move towards that goal, towards that possibility. And I've noticed that that's the case for every single thing in business and really every single thing in life. What are the mindset, beliefs that you need to have to actually move from one step to the other? And in looking at this and making lists, I'm a huge fan of data and lists. So we take everything and we put it into buckets and baskets, and we'll say, great, our centers had these challenges this week. And we've been making these huge lists and lists and lists of challenges. I think it was up to, 600 or 700, but we started to then tag them. We started to put them into these different, one center might say, I was having a challenge with the food, or we had challenges with getting reimbursements, or we were losing too much money on food stuff. So I had all these different challenges relating to food, hundreds of them. Hundreds of different challenges relating to hiring, finding the right staff, getting them to stay, keeping them happy, how much money to pay them, what benefits to give them, job descriptions. Like, we had all of these things, but they boiled into 4 different groups. And the reason that I have named this, and I named my business No Joke Marketing, was that my fundamental belief to everything in business is the most important function in business is marketing. So the whole concept of no joke marketing is meant to be serious marketing, serious results. So we took that and then we said, well, what would be applicable to all of our childcare centers? And it would be to have them and you build what I call a no joke childcare center. That no joke childcare center is one that has these 4 areas that I'm going to talk about in just a second mastered. These 4 areas firing on all cylinders all day, every day. We're going to go extremely deep into each of them, because what you're going to find is when we talk about one of them, and I'll give you one of them and let the cat out of the bag, it's marketing, one of those 4 baskets. But there's going to be steps that are going to have to be taken, mindsets that are going to have to be had to actually be able to see an impact. You will have the most sustainable business that you could ever imagine. A business that will literally give you all of the glory, all the gold, everything that you could possibly want. We're going to unravel and unwrap what I like to call fortune maps. We coined the phrase fortune maps, and each of those fortune maps is going to be like a treasure hunt. So without further ado, the 4 buckets that make up a no-joke childcare center are as follows, and these are in no particular order. Now, the reason that I say they're in no particular order is that they all are equally important. They all have to be harmonizing. So the first one is marketing. The 4 M's. Marketing is first. So for me, in everything that I've ever studied, everything that I've ever learned, every business that I have ever had, it has been a marketing-focused organization. Now, if you think about it like this, let's say right now you have hiring challenges. How could you solve those? If you have a ton of enrollments and you're profitable because you're charging what you're worth and you're charging at the upper end because you're providing a unique value proposition, a unique service. You've got some different things that other people don't have. If you have the extra capital because your marketing has been on fire, you can afford to pay more to hire the best talent. You can afford to invest more in ads on Indeed. You can have better benefits to retain and attract those right people. But everything starts with the marketing aspect. If you do not have the numbers that you need from a profitability standpoint, it's going to be a big challenge. Everything starts on the marketing side. If you don't have enough families, if you don't have enough leads, how can you build a sustainable business? If you don't have enough enrollments to where you can take a salary, nothing else matters. It's not going to just fix itself. You need to nail the marketing. So while I say that they're in no particular order, I am always personally going to mentor you and coach you to focus on the marketing first. And that means a lot of different things. It's going to be having a lead funnel system. It's going to be having reputation and review campaigns, a website that's on fire, amazing content, referral campaigns, a customer relationship management center that is insanely perfect and working for you 24/7. There's so many different things when it comes to marketing. That's one of the forms. The second one is money. I operate my business from a profit first standpoint. I didn't coin the phrase profit first, but I paid them a lot of money and I became a profit first consultant, and I deploy and use these methodologies all day, every day. There's a phrase from a mentor of mine, his name is Garrett White, and he says, the king and queen eat first. Now, I know that as a childcare professional, that's one of those things that you're not used to hearing, and you're not used to acting off of that advice. You're typically putting other people first, other people above, but it's that whole analogy when you're sitting on an airplane where they say for you to put your mask on before helping someone else. If you're going down with the ship, if you can't provide for yourself and your family, but your center and everyone else is provided for, you're never going to be in flow. It's never going to become a no-joke childcare business. It needs to be spinning off enough profit so that you can be putting money in the bank, so that you can be taking a hefty salary, you can be taking yearly bonuses, and you can have a slush fund so that if something breaks or you want to buy or invest in XYZ, it's not a big deal. The money side is all about managing the money, knowing your numbers, having key performance indicators, knowing the ideal ratios, looking at what you should be charging. How much is an enrollment worth to you? What do your expenses look like? And it's not just, let's cut expenses and add some new enrollments. There's a lot more to it. Said with love and respect, but most of you do a terrible job at managing your finances around your business. The third M is manpower. Culture, retaining staff. This is a people-driven business. You need to have an amazing director. You need to have great lead teachers and assistants. You need to have people that you can rely on and respect and feel relaxed if you're not there, not having to worry, is XYZ going to happen? Without the right people in this industry, I have seen way too many horror stories when a bad director has cost dozens, if not hundreds, of enrollments. I've seen teachers leave to go to another center and take half the enrollments with them. I've seen some of the craziest things you can ever imagine. The manpower, the hiring, the culture side of your business is massively. The fourth and final M are your methodologies. Now, the methodologies are a big basket of all-encompassing things, but they are your systems, your processes. They're your playbooks to how you operate the business. They're your strategy documents as to what you want the center or centers to look like in a year, 2, 3 years, 5 years. All that strategic stuff, the planning documents, tied in with all of those step-by-step processes. It's those secret sauce documents, some of the things that make you, but almost everything that we have encountered over the last 10 years has fallen into those 4 baskets. Every challenge has fallen into a marketing challenge, so you don't have enough enrollments, your reviews aren't good, review issues, communication with parents. The money side, so everything relating to accounting, grants, taxes, all of that stuff. Staffing and manpower, culture, hiring, firing, training, and then your methodologies of all those systems, processes, etc. Now, if you look at this, is there one of these where you think your center is on fire in a good way? Typically, not all the time, but typically it is the methodology. You have to have curriculum, so you normally have all that stuff written out. And you can take the approach of closing down the gap of those methodologies. Now, of the other three areas, you're going to have one that you are operating at a pretty poor level, borderline disaster. Right now, for most centers, it has been the manpower, but more often than not, it's more marketing and a money issue. Money solves a heck of a lot of things. It allows you, again, to hire better people. But with where the economy is and with where financial things are for people personally, they don't have the luxury of working for $12 an hour when chain fast food places are paying 15, 16, 17 plus an hour. When prices are up 10% from a year ago, for example, they don't have the luxury of staying at a job just because they love working with kids. That's not this generation. And a lot of you will say, oh, it's the generation that no one wants to work hard anymore. That's not the case. More often than not, it's this cliche phrase of, it's not you, it's me. It normally is you. Normally is you. Your culture might be out of whack. You might be paying wages that were good 2, 3, 4 years ago. Your culture might be chaotic. There's a lot of different things, a lot of challenges, and a lot of doors and check boxes that we need to check off. That low area, or that area that's borderline disastrous, to get into the green so that you start to round out that business. Marketing, money, manpower, methodologies. That is what makes up a no-joke childcare center.